Welcome back, everyone, to another dicondissectional production, hosted by Deathstroke 9. Tonight, we are going to be reacting to Alfred Hitchcock's Psycho. Welcome to the channel. If you're new here, hello, my name is Daniel, aka Deathstroke 9, and here we react to stuff. And, yeah, for the past little while, we've been doing Halloween-themed reactions and all, and dissections and analysis videos, yada, yada, yada. And I said that I was going to, my mom wanted me to watch this movie, and I said that I was going to check it out for Halloween. I am recording this a little bit before Halloween, but it's going to go up on the stroke of midnight on Hallows Eve, which will be the beginning of Halloween. I hope you enjoy. This is my first time doing a movie reaction, so here we are, guys. We made it. We made it to the end of the Halloween reaction videos for now, until next year. But if you're new to the channel, hello. This is my first time doing a movie reaction, so bear with me. And if it goes well, then stay tuned for more. Let me know what other movies you'd like me to react to or whatnot. But normally we react to music. Now today, we've got Alfred Hitchcock's landmark thriller of the macabre stars Janet Leigh and Anthony Perkins in a terrifying tale about a quiet motel and a mysterious killer. That is what YouTube says the movie is about. Probably stole that description from Wikipedia. I have no idea. Thank you for joining me. Let's do this. So first off, I want to say that I haven't seen a ton by Alfred Hitchcock, but from all of my reading, I have learned that he is one of the most influential directors for one of my favorite genres right now, which is the horror and the thriller. Groundbreaking in that field of work. So hats off to him. I'm excited to check out this work, which some might call his definitive work. And yeah, thank you for joining me. Let us begin our descent into madness. Now remember, this movie is... Gonna pause it right there. I'm sorry, so quick. Love the soundtrack. Wow, it's so cool. All the strings. I love string instruments for really anything, violins and cellos and all that. And that's so. I love it so much. Okay. Also, it's based on a novel by Robert Bloch. Really? So I've mentioned before that I'm a big fan of. Big fan is a relative term. I'm a fan of the fiction of Howard Phillips Lovecraft. And at one point, Robert Bloch, I believe, wrote a short story where a thinly disguised H.P. Lovecraft dies to a strange creature from out in nowhere land. And Lovecraft responded with his own story where Robert Bloch basically also dies, pretty much. They had a writer's feud almost. So yeah, it's a familiar name. I did not know this was based off a book. Now I feel like I want to read the book, so we'll probably be doing that. But anyway, let us continue.
All right.
You make respectability sound disrespectful.
Oh no, I'm all for it. It requires patience, temperance, a lot of sweating out. Otherwise, though, it's just hard work.
Headaches are like resolutions. You forget them as soon as they stop hurting.
Have you got some aspirin? I've got something, not aspirin. My mother's doctor gave them to me the day of my wedding. And...
Wow.
I just want to point out what an incredible use, I think, of foreshadowing. Now, I'm not entirely certain, but we are watching this on Halloween, and I would assume this is a Halloween movie. Therefore, it probably does not end well, or is in some form or way a thriller or scary. She literally just said, headaches are like resolutions. As soon as they stop hurting, you forget them. Anyone else think that was the writer trying to tell us something? That was beautifully done. Also, that whole scene, the previous one with the man and his, or the, not really his wife, the man and the woman and their relationship, it showed so much in so few words. And not only did it show a ton with very, very little actual dialogue, like their dialogue was casual, yet it revealed so much about their characters. Then the way that it escalated, that scene. So it started with, it was such an interesting scene. Even though I'm sitting here in 2020 and I'm watching a black and white movie from 1960, it still holds up. It's not boring. It's not a mess of computer-generated images or fruitless action sequences or, you know, it's telling such a powerful story right off the bat. And I've mentioned before that I'm an actor. And one of the reasons I got into acting was because I really think the film industry is a very interesting industry. And this entire opening scene showed us so much about those characters, felt completely natural, and was a very well-made scene. They kept talking to each other. The whole scene, two main characters are talking, right? It starts with their almost in foreplay, right? Then she's like, we're done. I'm done doing this. It's almost like she's looking for something. She's saying one thing, but wants something else. And it pays off on that a little bit later. So she says, I want to stop doing this. I want us to be respectable. I'm done hiding away. He is playfully saying something else, revealing their fundamental difference, that he likes it the way it is and she wants it a different way. Okay? So then it builds up to her finally, after they talk for a minute, she feels safe enough to express to him what she's actually means with pretty much everything that she said already, which was, let's get married. Let's stop hiding it. I don't care about your debts. I have debts too. I don't care where we have to be. I'll lick the stamps. But then he shows that he doesn't want it any other way. He likes it the way it is. And so then what happens? He pulls back. Comes up with excuses. And then she accepts that and tries to leave. Very well written, well directed storyline. Awesome shots as well. Like it's, yeah, very, very well done. Let's keep going.
As hot as fresh milk. Hey, you girls ought to get your boss to air condition you up. He can afford it today.
Marion, when you get...
Am I acting as if there's something wrong? You following her?
Well, it's the first time the customer ever high-pressured the salesman.
Figure roughly...
Your car plus $700?
700.
You always got time to argue money, huh?
All right.
I take it you can prove that car is yours. I mean, out-of-state license and all. You got your pink slip and
I believe I have the necessary papers. Is there a ladies' room?
in the building.
Okay, so obviously she yeah. So she just stole $40,000. So now, again, very good use of dialogue. So in that scene, just that last 1 second, he said, "All right, so your car traded in $700." She's like, "$700? Ah, you are in a mood to bargain for money." He's a salesman. He's going to start up here. He's expecting you to knock it down. He might be expecting to give it a... I think that probably her car is better than the car that he's trying to give her, right? So then she's like, okay. And he's so shocked at that he's like, can you even prove this car is yours? And that last scene with the cop was so well done. Very uncomfortable scene. It was so tight. The framing was perfect. And her acting, he was so stoic. And he had a perfect voice for it too. And her acting was beautiful there. Like, it was, a lot of the acting in a lot of these older movies is a little bit more over the top than it is in movies now. But I kind of like this style a little bit better. It's interesting. It's not the style that I've been taught personally as an actor in, like right now. But yeah, it's really, really well done. And obviously this isn't a silent movie, so there is no... or anything like that. But it's very well done. And all of the clues that they give you, all the little hooks, probably some of them red herrings, and we're taking it in. We're filtering the information. It's keeping me captivated. I love it. Very, very, very well made. And we're only 20 minutes into a 2-hour-long movie. Let's keep going. Sorry to pause it again so quick. I'm going to let it play. But that's a perfect... So a director I've worked with a few times, his name is Lee Fanning, and he directed Super Science Showcase. Go look it up if you've never heard of it. It's educational content for kids, and yeah, it's independent, but we're trying to get a little bit higher. I've been working for him for a while now, and I play one of the lead roles in it. Now, he recently had me and another actor on set do like... He like gave us a couple classes almost for free, pretty much, which was very, very nice of him. But he had us join him on Skype, and he talked to us about some things about different movies. I remember we went over like The Dark Knight. I watched The Third Man and Citizen Kane, thanks to his recommendations, and they were superb. I like Citizen Kane a little bit more than Third Man, but both very, very well-made movies. And one thing, to get to the point, one thing that he talked about a lot, which now some of my books have talked about as well, is what is called hierarchy of knowledge. It's what the audience knows. And that's why people talk about exposition dumps in movies. When people talk too much about themselves or give you all the information, they're not just stupid and a waste of space. They're also assuming the audience is an idiot. And finally, their exposition dumps are a waste of an opportunity for a filmmaker, especially in a movie like this. And in this movie, he does such a good job of not telling you anything you don't need to know. So right now, we have no idea what came before this. We have no idea what she's truly trying to accomplish. She's obviously trying to get away. We don't really know why. Maybe she wants to go see her boyfriend or whatnot. But they're doing such a good job of keeping the uncertainty high. And even if it's not a thriller, that should be in most movies, because it keeps you interested just to figure out simple things like the names of the characters. I don't think we know these characters' names yet. Their occupations. What was she even doing at her job? So she works at like a bank or a real estate place. And what does he do? He mentioned a warehouse, I think. And because they're not telling us much, I'm paying more attention. But I digress. That's a little bit of a rant, so let's just keep going. This movie's awesome so far. And again, only 20 minutes in. Character's very well made, too.
I think you better take it for a trial spin. I don't want any bad word of mouth about California's...
She's smiling. Oh, she thought she was getting away.
I'd like to.
All right, yeah, you get yourself settled and take off your wet shoes, and I'll be back as soon as it's ready.
Okay.
With my trusty umbrella.
What the frick? So that whole part, I was waiting for there to be something super scary. And so she's driving down the road, then she sees the hotel, and she goes up to it, and there's this guy. And my first impression of him is he's super, super, super nice. And then he can't remember the name of the bathroom. He won't stop smiling, kind of weirdly. His eyes keep darting all over the place. And he's a little bit controlling, too. He's like, have dinner with me. Take off your wet shoes. Get yourself settled. He's like very... Or maybe not controlling, but like demanding? Weird. Slightly unsettling, though. I wonder. Interesting. Let's keep going.
Like a grave. If you love someone, you don't do that to them even if you hate them.
I love how the camera angle went to being underneath him.
Understand? You mean an institution? A madhouse? People always call a madhouse someplace, don't they? What do you know about caring? Have you ever seen the inside of one of those places? The laughing and the tears, and the cruel eyes studying you. My mother there.
So he's been...
But she's harmless. She's as harmless as one of those stuffed birds.
I am sorry. I only felt... It seems she's hurting you. I meant well.
People always mean well. They cluck their thick tongues and shake their heads and suggest oh so very delicately. It's not as if she were a maniac, a raving thing. She just goes a little mad sometimes. We all go a little mad sometimes.
Back up to the house. Can pause it here. What a powerful scene. That whole drawn out thing, every line like was just this little bit of the top, just this small amount of this guy with all of he's obviously thought a lot. He has a lot of thoughts running through his head, okay? He's in a very bad situation, which has caused, he's like almost hyper intelligent, but he's like completely deluded. Like, what the heck? So he talked to her, and as soon as he started talking, when the talk changed, he's like, but I've gotten used to it. I don't mind it anymore. And she's like, you shouldn't mind it. He's like, oh, so you think that she's like, you should mind it. And he's like, oh, a kindred spirit, I should mind it. I do mind it. I just say I don't. Wow. And around that point onward, the camera angle changed. And it made it underneath him. We're looking up at him. But the camera angle on her stayed the same. He became more sinister in that moment. He became more of something that's something to be feared almost. This is such a cool movie. Wow. All right. Let's keep going. Did she have slippers on when she went in there? Yeah, shower often helps me when I have a headache. Why is he walking in on her? So intense. And they showed like no gore.
So far, of those I've used, I haven't had much luck with any of them.
Shows that movies do not need gore to be scary. A lot of modern day horror movies think that's what scary is. No, that's just gross, okay? To make something actually scary, this does a way better job than the majority of horror films made today. Wow. So his mom came out and just killed the woman. And I feel bad for him, and I want him to, like, win almost. But then he did take her body and throw it in a lake. So I don't even know. Like, he also had a peephole built into the door. Yeah. I don't know. I don't know what to expect anymore. I don't know what's real. Such an interesting look into the dark psychology of a character.
Let's see what they say about this one. They tell you what its ingredients are and how it's guaranteed to exterminate every insect in the world.
You wouldn't be made a fool of, would you?
But I'm not a fool.
Well,
And I'm not capable of being fooled, not even by a woman.
Well, this is not a slur on your manhood. I'm
Let's
sorry.
put it this way. She might have fooled me, but she didn't fool my mother.
Why is he smiling? It's so creepy. All right, let me pause it here, actually. This movie's getting really good. Okay. So, some things that I've noticed are that these characters are all very, very, very real. And these shots, there's been so many cool shots now that I'm... Like, that shot with the drain and then her eye, and then it was, like, slowly turning. Like, that's so much better at inspiring revulsion than just a ton of blood and gore everywhere, you know? Like, it's just creepy. The things that they say, the way that the characters talk, yeah, wow. And then that whole scene where Norman showed that he kind of is, like he's kind of a pathological liar almost. There's someone up in the window. No, there isn't. No, there isn't. Okay, that's my mother. Like, Giving me a headache just listening to him go in circles, you know? Very interesting. I wonder if we're ever going to see the mother. Let's keep going. Marion's going to go make a call. In case you didn't know it was a telephone, it's got convenient, big, bright letters over it. Why is it opening by itself?
Sometimes Saturday night has a lonely sound. Ever notice that, Lila?
So it is the old lady. The old lady just runs out and kills anybody that comes up. And he's so messed up by it, that boy. Holy. Okay. Little old lady running around with a big knife. Okay. So the private investigator walks in, and he looks around, and he sees all the doors are closed. He's like, all right, there's so much information in here. Starts walking up. We see the door slowly open. We got that shot of his leg going up the stairs, and he makes it to the top, and we see lady run out. And the effects there, to be totally honest, were a little bit cheesy. Specifically, him falling down is like, doot, 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 you know. Like it's got a bunch of falling down the stairs noises, but it looks way too smooth for someone falling down the stairs, but whatever. Until the very end. This is such a cool movie. Wow. All right, now I'm wondering how they're going to resolve this. So would that be the climax of Act 2, I guess? Huh, interesting. Wonder if you'd call this a slasher movie. Probably not. I don't think it would fall into that category. We'll do research on the movie when we finish. Let's keep going.
Sam, he said an hour or less.
Not even in bed yet. He wasn't out when you were there. He just wasn't answering the door in the dead of night like some people do. This fellow lives like a hermit. You must remember that bad business out there about 10 years ago.
Please, call.
They keep... So Norman must have gone to a madhouse before 10 years ago. What bad business? Obviously the bad business hasn't stopped.
Florrie, the sheriff wants you to connect him with the Bates Motel.
Norman Bates's mother has been dead and buried in Green Lawn Cemetery for the past 10 years.
What the frick?
I helped Norman pick out the dress she was buried in. Periwinkle blue.
It ain't only local history, sir. You want to tell me you saw Norman Bates's mother?
But it had to be. Because Arbogast said so, too. And the young man wouldn't let him see her because she was too ill.
Well, if the woman up there is Mrs. Bates, who's that woman buried out in Green Lawn Cemetery?
What the heck is happening? She's been dead the whole time. It's all in his head, maybe. But no, we saw it. We clearly saw the woman kill 2 people now. Well, at least clearly saw the woman kill 1. Yeah, okay. You're so dead now. Oh, I thought the down... Oh, yep. No. Oh, no. Why does his mother have a knife at all times? Just wondering. This will be the last time I think I pause this movie. I don't know how they're going to resolve this. Are they going to end the mother, or is Norman Bates and his mom are they going to escape scot-free? They're doing such a superb job with the tension and the ebbs and the flows and the plot line and the So good. I love it. Thank you, Mom, for recommending this to me. Hopefully you get to see this. Love this so much. All right, here we go. Here we go.
What kind of a person I am. I'm not even gonna swat that fly. I hope they are watching. They'll see. They'll see and they'll know. And they'll say, why, she wouldn't even harm a fly.
It showed this. Wow. That ending was so incredible. Oh my goodness. What? Oh man. So it was him the whole time. I was thinking maybe the mom was a supernatural force. What a brilliant movie. Wow. This came out in 1960. And it's better than a lot of movies that I've, like a lot of movies out now. All right. So let's, so here's what I got out of this. This movie was a deep dive. In a way, it was a deep dive into the mentality of a mentally ill person. And it shows how mental illness, and I'm not a student of the mind. I've not done a ton of research into how mental illness manifests or how that works. This is a perfect example of how trauma is one of the greatest, the strongest mind breakers there is. So this character experienced guilt and trauma, okay? So his mother already kind of messed him up. Not having a father messed him up. Then when she had another husband, he killed them both, which just ended his character. And so he drove himself crazy by trying to make it so that it seemed as though she was still there with him, that she wasn't dead. Huge curveball when they killed, who I thought was kind of the main character right at the beginning. One thing that was interesting to me is that the movie is rated R. Why was it rated R? So it's rated R, came out in 1960. Was the R rating even around in 1960? Maybe it was. Okay, that's why. The R rating was around in 1960. The PG-13 rating was not. Because the mentality behind the movie was very, very, very R-rated. But that's not really what the rating association looks for, is it? They look for the visual. So if it has sexual content or if it has extreme blood and gore, that's when they're gonna, or profanity, or obscenities, that's when they're going to put an R rating on it now. This had very, very minimal blood and gore. The part where the mother turns around and it's a skull, that was so cool. All right, what an incredible movie. Wow. All right, so now what we're going to do is we're going to do some research, all right? We're going to see what we can dig up on this movie, maybe through Wikipedia. Psycho is a 1960 American psychological horror thriller film produced and directed by Alfred Hitchcock. The screenplay, written by Joseph Stefano, was based on the 1959 novel of the same name by Robert Bloch. The film stars Anthony Perkins, Janet Leigh, Vera Miles, John Gavin, and Martin Balsam, and centers on the encounter between a female embezzler on the run, Marion Crane, and Norman Bates, the shy proprietor of a secluded old motel, and its aftermath. Psycho was seen as a departure from Hitchcock's previous film North by Northwest, having been filmed on a lower budget in black and white and by a television crew. The film was initially considered controversial, and received mixed reviews, but audience fascination and outstanding box office returns prompted a major critical reevaluation. Psycho was nominated for 4 Academy Awards, including Best Supporting Actress and Best Director for Hitchcock. Anthony Perkins did such an incredible job. He didn't win anything for that? Wow, okay. Psycho is now considered one of Hitchcock's best films and praised as a major work of cinematic art by international film critics and scholars due to its slick direction, tense atmosphere, effective camera work, a memorable score, and iconic performances. Often ranked among the greatest films of all time, it sets a new level of acceptability for violence, deviant behavior, and sexuality in American films, and is widely considered to be the earliest example of the slasher film genre. Now, a slasher film is a subgenre of horror films involving a killer murdering a group of people, usually by use of bladed tools. After Hitchcock's death in 1980, Universal Pictures began producing follow-ups, 3 sequels, a remake, and a made-for-television spin-off, and a prequel television series set in the 2010s. In 1992, the Library of Congress deemed the film culturally, historically, or atheistically. For some reason, the pronunciation of this word is slipping my mind at the moment. One moment, please.
Aesthetically.
Aesthetically. Thank you. Aesthetically. The A and the E keep messing me up. All right. Aesthetically significant, and selected it for preservation in the National Film Registry. All right, when Norman sits in a jail cell, Mother's voiceover protests that the murders were Norman's doing, and Marion's car is towed from the swamp. Psycho is based on the book of the same name, loosely inspired by the case of convicted Wisconsin murderer and grave robber Ed Gein. He was also known as the Butcher of Plainfield, or the Plainfield Ghoul. There's a body snatcher. Alright, the story's protagonists, Norman Bates, were solitary murderers. So they had deceased, domineering mothers, sealed off a room in their home as a shrine to her dressed in woman's clothes. However, unlike Bates, Gein is not strictly a serial killer, having been charged with murder only twice. Let's see. Peggy Robertson, Hitchcock's longtime assistant, read Anthony Boucher's positive review of the novel in his Criminals at Large column and decided to show the book to her employer. However, studio readers at Paramount Pictures already rejected its premise for a film. Hitchcock acquired rights to the novel for $9,500 and reportedly ordered Robertson to buy all copies to preserve the novel's surprises. Hitchcock, who had come to face genre competitors whose works were critically compared to his own, was seeking new material to recover from 2 aborted projects with Paramount, Flamingo Feather and No Bail for the Judge. He disliked stars' salary demands and trusted only a few people to choose prospective material. Wow. Screenplay is relatively faithful to the novel. Stefano found the character of Norman Bates, who in the book is middle-aged, overweight, and more overtly unstable, unsympathetic, but became more intrigued when Hitchcock suggested casting Anthony Perkins. Yes. Eliminated his drinking, which evidently necessitated removing Bates becoming the mother personality when in a drunken stupor. Also gone is his interest in spiritualism, the occult, and pornography. Yeah, that sounds like something, yeah. So, that's so perfect, because while we were watching, I was like, I think that this character is sympathetic. I almost want him to win. Near the end, though, it's revealed just how crazy he is. All the layers are down, and he's still smiling. The murder of Leia's character in the shower is the film's pivotal scene and one of the best known for all of cinema. 77 different camera angles were used. Transferring the menace from the screen into the mind of the audience. Wow. All right, this is very, very, very. The score. Let's look at that. One last thing. Hitchcock insisted that Bernard Herrmann write the score for Psycho, despite the composer's refusal to accept a reduced fee for the film's lower budget. The resulting score is perhaps Herrmann's most spectacular Hitchcock achievement. Hitchcock was pleased with the tension and drama the score added to the film, later remarking 33% of the effect of Psycho was due to the music. Yes, very powerful music. And that Psycho depended heavily on Herrmann's music for its tension and sense of pervading doom. The singular contribution of Herrmann's score may be inferred from the unusual penultimate placement of the composer's name in the film's opening credit sequence, as is followed only by Hitchcock's directing credit. He used the lowered music budget to his advantage by writing for a string orchestra rather than a full symphonic ensemble. Contrary to Hitchcock's request for a jazz score, he thought the single tone color of the all-string soundtrack as a way of reflecting the black and white cinematography of the film, and the, very haunting and insane character. It portrays it perfectly. There was controversy surrounding it. It's a prime example of the type of film that appeared in the United States during the 1960s after the erosion of the production code. It was unprecedented in its depiction of sexuality. There was very little sexuality, but okay. And violence, right from the opening scene in which Sam and Marion are shown as lovers sharing the same bed, and Marion in a bra. In the production code standards of the time, unmarried couples shown in the same bed would have been taboo. Oh, okay. Then there's the gender bending element. They specifically say that it's not even really specifically that, though, but okay. Perkins, who is allegedly a homosexual, and Hitchcock, who previously made Rope, were both experienced in the film's transgressive subject matter. The viewer is unaware of the Bates gender bending until the very end of the movie, and it has appeared that he cross-dresses as his mother during the attempted murder of Lila. At the station, he asks why Bates was dressed that way. The psychiatrist says it's not a transvestite and says that he is his own mother. It's been rated and re-rated multiple times by the MPAA. In Psycho, Hitchcock subverts the romantic elements that are seen in most of his work. The film is instead ironic as it presents clarity and fulfillment of romance. The past is central to the film. The main characters struggle to understand and resolve destructive personal histories, and they ultimately fail. And that, my friends, is Hitchcock's Psycho. Now, I'm going to be uploading the full reaction to this on Patreon, and I'm going to be editing a version that'll be able to be uploaded to YouTube as my first movie reaction. So, thank you for sticking with me. That was a very powerful movie with a lot of very interesting imagery in it. I really enjoyed it. Looking into these characters, that story was so well crafted, and yeah, wow, such a good movie. Thank you for joining me for it. Deathstroke 9 out. Stay tuned for more. Let me know what other things you'd like me to react to or analyze or do research on or whatnot. We are Legion, my friends. Happy Halloween. Thank you for joining me. And yes, this has been the Halloween series.